Hey guys, it's Ubiru and welcome back to World of Warships. So today I have a replay sent in by Still Guns on his Tier 7 German premium battleship, the Scharnhorst, on Two Brothers Domination mode. So Still Guns is playing top tier, and you'll notice the pre-made at the bottom, the Königsbergs. They're going to do something rather odd very quickly, which is the title of this match, the difference between playing for fun and playing to win. Now these Königsbergs are playing for fun, and Still Guns is playing to win. So pre-mades in this game, especially on this map, there's the middle part, which is a no-go area 99.9% of the time. Of course, you can go down there if it's the latter part of the map and the enemy's capping B, for instance, and there's absolutely no hope for you to get back in time or so. But yeah, other than that, it's a complete no-go. You wouldn't dare go there because it's a suicide area. Destroyers always lurk this area and will always kill you, especially if you're in a relatively big ship, cruiser or bigger. Still Guns is trying to get a good position, but noticing what these ships are doing, and he's noticed some people on his team, the Königsbergs exactly, the pre-made, are not playing nice. So these guys are going to try and push the middle as a rush, and they're actually coercing allies to push down there as well. This is a completely newbie thing to do. I wouldn't recommend it 99.9% of the time, as I said, and they're going to push down the middle, and you know, in their minds they think, oh yeah, that's a great idea, push down there and win the game. It doesn't work like that though. The allies spawn on C and they're going to be absolutely surrounded. So the Linde has spawned over there. So the Linde is now across from A. Still Guns is trying to get a shot at him, 16 kilometers or so, 15.5 now. Shots going in with armor piercing to start. Shots going to the side and one penetration and what it says at the top there for 760 damage. So not an awful lot of damage overall. So 14 kilometers away is the Scharnhorst, which is a bigger threat than the Leander. And he's waiting for his gun to reload. But at the moment, everyone on the team is sort of looking about what these guys are doing in the middle. These guys are playing completely clueless. They're pushing towards C-cap. The enemy is starting to clock on to what they're doing. There we go, 6,500 damage there on the Scharnhorst. That was good damage. The enemy is starting to clock on to the idea of what the allied ships are doing, the Königsbergs, pushing down towards C. And, of course, some battleships are following suit. So when you have team members like this trying to coerce you to push in stupid locations, saying it's a good idea, they are probably wrong. If you know what you're doing, if you're a confident player and you know that if you push on one side, no lemmings or anything like that, but just push on one side and play for your team, then yeah, go for it. Don't get coerced by some newbie players. So a big Citadel hit there for 14,000 damage. Good job. So as you can see, one of the ships has been destroyed already, one of the Königsbergs, and the other two are just there. They're taking a lot of fire, torpedoes and all. Another Königsberg is dead there, so 2 out of 3. What a stupid rush by these guys. I wouldn't recommend it. And look, the allied battleships are in the middle too, pushing down, and you know, that's 3 ships given up completely, followed by 2 battleships. But the good thing about this scenario, the good thing is that Still Guns gets to shoot amongst all these enemies that are looking the opposite direction. So getting some good hits into enemies there. Of course, he did do some good damage earlier. But as you can see, the Königsbergs have been absolutely wiped out. Admittedly, they were the lower tier. But still, you know, even tier 5 ships can destroy tier 7 ships with a good enough player. So these 2 destroyers are lurking around after hunting down the Königsbergs. The Scharnhorst is quite low on the right-hand side. The allied battleships, the Königs, are pushing down the middle. And there's quite a good flank going on Still Guns' side here on the A side. No one's really capping A at the moment, but they will be shortly. But the idea for Still Guns is to push the enemy, because currently they're not looking towards A, they're only looking towards the 2 battleships and the Königsbergs in the middle. They have absolutely no idea really what's going on in this direction. So the Leander is there, playing stationary in smoke. Smoke's just disappeared, 7 kilometers away. Reloading guns, of course, but with the Scharnhorst, 20-second reload, so quite quick. So only 5 seconds left for the reload. Leander is quite a lightly armoured cruiser, British, of course. Waiting for him to turn and then fire the main guns. Probably, no, that looks okay. Shots going into the side. Now, these guns are quite accurate. Shots going in for around 5,700. That's quite a lot of damage, really, for a light cruiser taking damage from a battleship. So he's trying to repair the Leander, but, you know, he can't quite outtake the damage, and he's been destroyed. So the Scharnhorst is still relatively low, and a lot of the enemies are pushing towards D and sort of floating around their spawn area. They're not really doing a lot. They're sort of trying to kill these battleships that are pushing them. but not really doing too much. The Scharnhorst is taking damage next, 2,500. Again, not too much, but then if you keep doing these little tiny bits of damage, you will accumulate them, and they will eventually kill the enemy ships. So the Scharnhorst is now hiding behind the island there. A lot of the enemies are pushing towards the D side, but they have the capping advantage, really. It seems like one of the... there he is. The destroyers have been capping A, and they're within secondary armament now, so going to fire the main guns in about 8 seconds or so. The back ones are turning around. Secondary armament is hitting the Navy. Hit him in the back there. Incapacitated him. Shots going in again, and finished off the Navy. So the Mutsuki is hiding and finally killed just before he rammed against the wall there. So the secondary armament of these guns is very good. Torpedoes coming in from the Navy, turn quickly, and that's fine, because the Scharnhorst turns incredibly quickly, much better than most average battleships. So the Scharnhorst, as you can see, the enemy are so crowded in this area. Shots going in for 5,000 damage. It seems like the Königs are doing an okay job. You know, they are sacrificing themselves. We lost 3 of the Königsbergs and the König as well, and this one is only half HP, so they are doing well in some respects in distracting the enemy from what's going on the A-cap. So the entire of Steel Gun's team is on the A-cap, pushing around and attacking the enemy, which is in their spawn. So the Scharnhorst is firing some torpedoes to kill the König, and they finished off the König. So 2 Königs and 3 Königsbergs have been destroyed. The Scharnhorst has taken some damage there. Guns reloaded, firing 2 of the main guns towards the Scharnhorst. Should finish him off here. Shots going in and killed the Scharnhorst. So the Belfast is next, but he's trying to seek cover towards the middle of the 2 brothers. Belfast, 15,000 HP, firing main guns. Shots going into... oh, missed, unfortunately. These guns have a very good overall damage. When they finally hit him there for only 5... oh, that's 5,400 is actually quite substantial damage. So 2 kills so far, 38 hits, about 60,000 damage, so quite good so far. A lot of the enemies are now fleeing either down the middle towards B, or going back towards their base, or towards D. So they're all splitting up now in different directions, and Steel Gun's team are just trying to hunt them down. So Steel Gun's team has the advantage here, but they've just captured B. 400 points for the enemy. We don't really know what's going to happen yet. So he's been detected, we know that. So there could be a small ship, a cruiser potentially, spotting him from this location. There he is, the cruiser, the Fiji, 11.3 kilometers away. Now the Fiji is quite lightly armored, but can take some good damage from these 280mm guns. Fired probably a bit too early, still good though, 4,000 damage, plus 700 at the end there, 10.5 kilometers, and the Fiji, with his armor-piercing only guns, are targeting other ships. So 4 seconds left for a reload. These guns reload incredibly quickly. 400 HP left. Going to fire a full broadside onto the side of the Fiji as he's turning. He's turning, trying to turn back, but I don't think there's enough time. Into the back there. Full penetration, and finished off the Fiji. The Congo, it looks like an unupgraded Congo, 49,000 HP. And the Belfast is still pushing towards the middle. So the Congo is a good ship. Much better than its predecessor, in my opinion. But it doesn't have torpedoes, and that's one of the biggest problems with the Congo, having brawling, or trying to brawl at least, with these German battleships. They always lose 9 times out of 10 because of the torpedo capability of these amazing ships. Some armor piercing going in there for about 3,200. The Belfast has some torpedoes, so Steel Guns need to be very careful here about what he does next. Now, of course, he can fire his torpedoes, but he doesn't know. He's not 100% sure if he's moving or not. The Congo is pushing on his left, but he's trying to aim for the Belfast. Now the Belfast is moving, so these torpedoes could have some attack. These torpedoes aren't that quick, but they're only limited to around 6 kilometers. So the König is, well, the other side of the cap on D. As I said, they're all sort of splitting up. The Belfast is close. The Congo is getting within secondary armament range of the Scharnhorst, and that's a very bad idea. The secondary armament guns on the Scharnhorst are amazing. They're absolutely amazing. Set the target on fire there, and he knows the target is there in the smoke, firing a broadside into the smoke, and Citadel hit him, finished off the Belfast. So the Congo is next. 3.3, 3.2 kilometers, getting very close. Secondary guns are firing, and torpedoes are soon. You know what's going to happen, don't you guys? Okay, so torpedoes of this amazing ship, the Scharnhorst, are going to get into action. Allies shot him there accidentally with these port arcing battleship guns. trying to get some good torpedo range. He's not really focusing on main guns. Line up, you can very easily avoid them if he slows down, but this distance, there's no chance. Broadside inside the citadel area of the ship, torpedoes going in, and killed the Congo. So we got a lot of secondary armament hits there. 33 in such a short space of time. His team has a huge advantage now. He's capping B. He's going to make sure he caps B to ensure some kind of win, and he attained Kraken Unleashed. So 5 kills, but the game's not over yet. So the Bayern and the Konig are on the other side of the map, and after capping B, I think Still Guns is going to have his way with these ships as well. So we'll see what happens. So his team's played very well, and of course, you know, Still Guns has played an exceptional game so far, but it's a bad move by the Congo or any Japanese battleships really with lacking torpedoes to go brawling with, German battleships. It's a terrible idea. As I said, 9 times out of 10 you're going to lose in a Congo. So now he's trying to get it within range, trying to get beyond this rock. The Scharnhorst has a terrible arc really, but has very good velocity on guns. So he's trying to get past this rock so he can get a good accurate shot onto the Konig and potentially the Bayern. Only 11 kilometers away. Nearly there. So the Konig and the Bayern are nearly 4 HP, and they are somewhat of a threat, really. I mean, at this point in the game, Still Guns is only only one of 2 battleships on his team remaining, 3 cruisers and a destroyer. So the Bayern is flat on, so he's a better target to shoot at. The Konig is sitting in an angle, really, so he can't really penetrate him. The Bayern, however, is slow, and it does have good guns, but the armor's okay. So 2,500 HP taken off there. Now, the Konig does have torpedoes, I believe, and if he gets too close to the Konig, it could be a German-on-German brawl. That could be both ships are destroyed, or narrowly avoid it with the amazing turn rate of the Scharnhorst, or the Konig wins overall. So we'll soon find out. So the Bayern is 12.4, the Konig is getting closer, so getting within range of those secondary guns. So some shots going in, of course. This angle is not a great angle to shoot at a battleship. Angling the armor like this is almost impossible. Or some torpedoes coming in, hit the Konig there for some damage, probably induce flooding as well. Now he's going to go broadside on, only 3 seconds reload, and torpedoes as well. He's going to wait for the Konig to turn. Seems like he's turning to avoid some shots from the Fijis and the other side of the map. Torpedoes are going out there, getting the broadside on. Armor piercing this time into the center of the Konig for good damage there. 13,000 damage, attained high caliber, and here the secondary guns fire. High explosive, high explosive, high explosive. Big damage. Konig is only 6,000 HP. He's trying to turn to avoid. He's probably focusing too much on the Fiji. He can't see what's behind him. The other battleships on the left, not too much of a threat right now. The Konig is not looking behind him. Torpedo hit him in the rear, incapacitated him, and finished him off. So the Bayern is next, 24,000 HP, 8 kilometers away. And again, I think this German battleship has torpedoes. Citation needed. Shots going into the center there. The Bayern is very slow, 5,700, not too bad. Taking some shots incoming, missed most of them, but did some minimal damage, I believe. Waiting for the guns to reload. So the 2 front guns about 3 seconds, and the back one about 10 seconds. So shots going in now to the back of the Bayern. 760, so he's still quite angled, so he's not an easy target to hit. The back gun's going in now. These guns seem quite accurate, but they're not the biggest caliber. 4,000 damage, quite good. So only 9,000 damage left. His team has a huge advantage, really, in terms of capping points, and this Bayern is sitting ducks. I feel kind of sorry for him, actually. Shots going in, 1,200, not too much damage there. The secondary guns are firing, but the Bayern is so slow, he just can't move to avoid the team, really. 760, again, he's angled, not taking too much damage, but he's taking damage from the Fijis, the Scharnhorst. There's no chance for this Bayern to get anything back. Shots going in, full broadside, and finished off the Bayern. So in that game, Still Guns managed to accumulate 145,000 damage, 7 kills, 2 citadel hits, and 57 secondary armament hits. So good job there. Around 613,000 credits, 8,600 experience, and 1,700 base experience. He managed to attain Close Quarters Expert, Confederate, High Caliber, and Kraken Unleashed. Still Guns came top in terms of the team overall score with 7 kills, 1 plane shot down, and 2.3 K base experience, nearly doubling the next person. And a quick summary of damage he did to enemies. So 30,000 on the Congo, 20,000 on the Scharnhorst, 20,000 on the Bayern, and 20 on the Konig and Belfast. So the credits and experience Steel Guns attained in this battle was with a premium account. So quite a lot of credits and experience there. So this game really explains, in Steel Guns' words, the difference between playing for fun and playing to win. It's a good game in the Scharnhorst there. Thank you very much for sending it in, Steel Guns. And if you guys have any replays you want to send in for me to have a look at, by all means send them in to ubiru0@gmail.com. So thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.